My name is Adriana Vergara.
My name is Jamie Cohen.
I moved to Miami in 2000. I was never expecting to live in Miami, but here I'm 23 years later.
Yes, same here. Miami, I come originally from Colombia. For us Colombians, Miami has always been a second home, but I did also reject Miami as I went to school in New York City, and when I left New York I thought life was coming to an end and definitely never expected to stay in Miami for the last 20 years that I've been here.
I also come from Colombia. So when I was moving to the States, I was pursuing my art career in New York, but I stopped in Miami and I stayed here. Yes, in the last 22 years, Miami has exploded in different aspects. It's growing, the landscape of the city, the culture, fitness-wise. Miami is a new city.
I mean, like you say, just looking at it is completely different. The landscape that we have today looks like it could be anywhere. Before it wasn't like that. Definitely a transformation in many ways of real estate, but a huge transformation in the wellness community and what's happening in wellness. We've become one of the most important cities in wellness in the United States, so that's a big transformation for us.
Well, ANAHATA, we never thought it was going to be what's right now, but to tell you a little bit about how it started in my world, I'm an art dealer and I had a very hectic life. I had the gallery, I was working all the time, and I got married, had kids, and my yoga practice was always part of my life, was the thing that was keeping me grounded in life. And every time I wanted to go on a yoga retreat, but I always had the perfect excuse. No, I can make it because I have to work. No, I can make it because of my kids. So it kept going and the years passed by. And one day I said, if I don't do it myself the way I really like things to go, it's never gonna happen. So I decided to organize a yoga retreat. It was not with Cheney that time. I hired a yoga instructor and we went to this place in Colombia. It was beautiful, and I have to tell you that at that time, everything that could go wrong in my life went wrong, but still I made it happen, and I understood the importance of giving yourself the time to retreat. So I always, when I came back, I was like, I have to keep doing this. I have to, keep doing yoga retreats. I'm gonna find the perfect person is gonna show up. Voila, it's here. And 6 months later, she came into my life and she had the same dream coming from a different place. And in 2 seconds, we were like, oh my, we were both Colombians and we didn't know each other before. And we were like, how we didn't know each other before, right? We have so many people in common. It's like, yeah, let's do a yoga retreat, make a list. Who you want to come, who do you want to invite? And that was in the parking lot after a yoga class.
Yeah. And that's how it started. It started with the intention of just doing yoga retreats. That's what it was. I come from the fashion world. I had shops, Oxygen, everybody knew about them for many years in Bal Harbour shops, and I was quite a workaholic, but it was always my practice. I've been practicing for over 32 years, and my practice always came first. That's the only thing that kept me sane. There was a moment where I was burnt out. Retail was changing, so retail went from what I used to know how to do, which was style people inside the shop, serve them champagne, have conversations, have women's conversations. That's what I knew how to do. And then retail became an online business, which is not what I know how to do. So I said, I'm out. And I went to spend some time in India because my kids were starting to leave to college. And there was this aha moment where I said, my kids don't need me as much anymore, and I'm so passionate about this practice that has empowered me that I just want to start teaching. And so I started teaching yoga. From there, I met Ali, because I was that one day that I met her, I was dying to meet somebody that was smart and going, and that I could really count on putting these retreats together. But then, pandemic happened. Everybody has a pandemic story, and that's really when ANAHATA became what it is, which is a huge, solid community that we have supporting each other. So we, of course, had to give back the money of 2 retreats. We lost a lot of money, and we were sad, and we couldn't see each other, and we couldn't see some of the girls that we practiced with. So we started practicing over Zoom. And then this one said, can I invite this one? The other one said, can I invite the other one? It turned out we had a humongous group of women and men, some men, getting together every single morning, including the weekends. We got together for about 8 months. After 8 months, we chopped off the weekends and continued just during the week. So it was a yoga practice and a meditation practice. Well, the actual name means the heart chakra. So there's 7 chakras, which are energy points that go up and down the spine. And the one of the heart is called the ANAHATA chakra. And we really chose that name because whatever we do, we're doing it organically from the heart. Now, what is ANAHATA per se? It's a bit confusing for some people, because we're not a yoga studio. We don't necessarily have 4 walls. We teach our yoga classes on a weekly basis from right here, from Ironside in the glass box. But we don't have a studio. We move around. We are a very strong community of people that have the same purpose of transforming their spiritual life. And we do that through monthly workshops, monthly meditations, of course our retreats, our teacher trainings, and bringing wellness into corporate companies inside Miami. So we've done classes for Stella McCartney, we're doing one for Minotti today. We feel that what used to be that cocktail where people used to get together and have cocktails with their co-workers has also transformed into, why don't we just have a wellness yoga class experience. So we're trying to offer that service to the
and we curate the experiences depending on the person who wants to take the experience. So some are more guided by meditation, some are more workouts, breath work. So it all depends on what the person is looking for, or the client, or the group of people. But we like to give that space to everyone.
And also, because of the work that we do, we've gotten to meet the best people in Miami for everything. So the best one for breath work, the one for the sound healing, the one for the chanting. So we like to, the attention is not always on us. We like to bring and shine the light on different people in Miami that are doing special wellness work. There's a lot of them. And we take these people and shine the light, and then we do our events with them. We work very close with the Sacred Space, which is the most important wellness center in Miami, and that's where we do our teacher trainings. We just graduated 28 teacher trainings and are going back to it on February 16th for 30 days. So we're training people to be in service.
And keep growing the community that way, which is beautiful. And that's part of our purpose, to keep growing the community and getting more people involved in doing what they love and share their life with others. Not at all. We've had all kind of people going to the retreats from different ages. We've had people from 18 years old to 69 years old. And the beauty of the retreats is that we have a group of teachers that we guide every person to their own personal practice. So if we have some advanced students, we push them into, practicing harder. And then if you are new to yoga, we guide you to have a safe practice to start. So you don't have to be experienced at all. The retreats are more than the yoga. The retreats are the whole wellness experience.
Yes, definitely. The purpose of our retreats is to have people learn the tools that they need to figure out their own practice. So what my practice might be, I was a gymnast at a young age, so I really need to push it and be very hard on it. I also I chant a lot. That is my way of entering into meditation, is by singing mantras. So I do that. So we expose these people that come to our retreats to different methods that they can then go back home. So you will have a yin class at night with a softer teacher. You'll have a more fiery practitioner in the morning. We have a lot of sound healing, a lot of singing. Something else that we do once in a while is our day retreats. For those people that maybe don't have the time to go away for 4 days or are afraid of going away for 4 days, it is incredible how in one day, if you are taken out of your city, we've done them, for example, in Homestead, in a beautiful farm that we had. We had also retreats in Paradise Farms, which is the farm of Carla Gascal of the Sacred Space. We've had them in Plant the Future, which is our friend Paloma, who is thinking that she's going to change the world by planting as many trees as she can. And so her place is wonderful. And just in one day, people tap into divinity, just like that. And then they understand that once you learn how to
disconnect, I would say.
Find stillness. When you find stillness, then you can harvest peace. So one day we'll do it, one day with us we'll do it. Of course our retreats are beautiful, and we are curating every single retreat completely different. When we do our retreats in Mexico, they're extremely feminine. That retreat we actually don't have any men, we keep it very feminine. We are doing a lot of singing, a lot of yoga, of course, always. If you come with us to Colombia, it's a little bit different. We have a cultural exchange with the indigenous people where we're learning from the indigenous people. We go up in hikes, we go to the waterfalls, we're sweaty, we get on the jeeps. It's a bit more of like someone looking for a mix of adventure and not so much just resting and peaceful. We're about to embark ourselves into our first Marrakesh. We're going to Morocco, and in Morocco is going to be yes, of course, the morning and the evenings will be dedicated to our spirituality, learning from them as well, bringing in musicians from there, bringing in teachers from there, and of course myself as a teacher. But we've curated a shopping trip.
Yeah.
The shopping is going to be every night is a different restaurant with a rooftop, and we're spending one night in the desert. Riding camels at sunset and doing yoga when the moon goes and the sun rises. So we make every single retreat completely different. They sell very fast because once you've come with us once, and I can say this proudly, once you've come to once, you always want to come again. So that's why we're fortunate to sell them quickly, and we figure out a way also of supporting other women that are local that have businesses. So we bring in what we call the ANAHATA retreat kit. So we have people from like De La Hart, who has all these wellness products. She showers the girls with gifts. Then we have Du Sol that does intimate organic underwear. Everybody gets to have it. By Laila, which is one of our personal favorite ones. She has these elastics that become bracelets, and so after that everybody just keeps on supporting those products because we curate the kit, and there's this community built up of supporting one another that also happens through our
Absolutely, yes. Every retreat that we create it's a cultural experience depending on the place that we're going and what we want to get out of that place. Our first retreat, we made it in Colombia. We're Colombian, so it's our favorite destination. Not to say that the others are our favorites too, but in Colombia we connect a lot with nature, and we go to La Sierra Nevada, Santa Marta, where the indigenous tribes still live. There are 5 tribes, Los Cogis, Wiwas, and other 3 tribes, and we try to connect with them to learn how they live and how they see the world that is completely different from our culture. So all that brings a lot to our spiritual growth and the connection to nature as well.
Definitely in Colombia there is that deep feeling of exchange of information with the indigenous, because they are not in contact with society, they're in contact with the galaxy, with the moon, with the sun, and what they have taught us and teach us every year that we go is just shifts your consciousness. So it's absolutely beautiful. What happens also in these retreats is that people learn to relate to one another through their heart, with an open ANAHATA energetic heart that we curated in a way that people physically have their heart open. And so you create these relationships not just with the people from the countries that we go to, but with one another that feel completely different than the relationships that you have with your mind and your brain and other interests with other people. So I think that's one of the highlights, is just learning to communicate with your heart and not with your brain so much. I live in Miami Beach. My 2 sons are grown up, so I spend a lot of time now with my husband. Eating is a big thing. We are picky eaters. We like good service, so we always stick to the same restaurants when it comes to every day. It's always Call Me Gabby. Call Me Gabby is this little place in Miami Beach that we go for the best salads and for pizza. Then we go to La Petite Maison in downtown because my husband's French, so he only eats French food, believe it or not. And then we, I like spending time in the botanical garden. It's right next to my house, and just walking around the garden. Now they have some evening beautiful lighting exhibitions, and spending time in nature right there is just great.
So I do have younger kids, so my life is
and a nutcracker dancer.
A little bit different. So we love spending time at the museums, at the art galleries in Miami. They're great places. We love the Bad Museum, which I have been supporting for many years. And my daughters go to the art camps there. They have different activities. And I'm also going into different tours with the band. We visit the art fairs. So I really enjoy the Bad Museum and other local galleries. Nina Johnson Gallery, we have La Central, David Castillo. So it's one of the things that we like to do the most. Also, my girls are very active, so we like to go to Key West, Key Largo. We go to these national parks where people don't really go that much from Miami. And we do kayaking, snorkeling. There's a delicious place hidden, the Crazy Lobster, that we love to go there. And well, my little one is a ballerina, so I truly enjoy ballet in Miami and attending the performances and supporting the school as well. So that's where my time goes. For retreats, we have planned in February, we're going to Colombia from the 9th to the 13th.
And we still have some spots available for that one.
Colombia is magical. We stay in this beautiful place full of bungalows, so we create this little community, and each one has their own house and the outdoor bathroom.
Bungalows on the beach, right in front of the water.
So it's really special. And then in April, we're leaving to Marrakesh.
Marrakesh is sold out.
That is sold out. And then in the fall, we're going back to Mexico and in Ixtapa, in Cihuatanejo.
Yes, and then the next one is surprise. we keep it surprise so that we can keep the girls on the lookout until we do. We first have to travel to these places and we have to curate everything to then, you know, do the retreats. And also what started really out of just our friends or our students coming to these retreats, we're now getting people booking all the way from London. We have Italian girls coming, people
from
that
Peru,
we didn't know,
Chile.
from Peru and Chile we had this time around. So it's really turning into something very global
International
than just our regular Miami community.